my name's Trudie and I'm one of the members here at IQBar, and I'm also one of the IQBar vloggers. This week's vlog is all about how to write reviews, structure, tone, areas for development, how to use smart targets, and clarity with the materials that you cover and the homework you set. So if you want to find out more, stay tuned. I'm going to start off with a general overview for reviews. So you have to remember firstly as well that when you're doing your reviews for tasters and for normal sessions, they are a little bit different. So often for tasters, you'll have those little sort of tick boxes where you have to press them to select them. Whereas for normal sessions, you don't have this, you just have the review block. And the review will help the buddy to know what in the session, what homework has been set, and kind of where they need to go with this Breadie. Reviews are also really important for the Breadies, not only us buddies. So it also helps the Breadie to review what they've learned, and it's a chance to communicate any comments about the activities that have been covered, what they've done really well in, if you want to give them some praise, and some comments about how they can move forward and how they can develop and get even better. So reviews should have the following things. So you will have a box normally to select, saying yes, they've done their homework, or no, they haven't done their homework, which is simple, select yes or no. There will also be a box where you need to type in what was covered. Now it's really important to be really specific. So these will be for CGE lessons. And you need to put in the book number you're working on. Is it CG1, CG2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? And you also need to put the unit. So that's fine putting the book, but lots of them have loads of different units. So is it CG1, unit 2, 3, 4? So you need to be really clear. And also put the pages that you covered. So there's two boxes for this. There's a box that says what you've covered, and that is where you need to put what you've taught in that lesson. So you need to put the book number, the unit number, and the pages covered. Then there's another box where you need to put what needs to be covered in the next lesson. So again, you need to put the book number, the unit number, and the page they need to start from. And it might be that actually you got on to a certain page but only got up to a certain activity. So it might be, oh, can you carry on from page 34, activity 2? So it needs to be really clear. So in your reviews, you also need to talk about any additional resources you used. So if there's something you uploaded, maybe a video or a game you did, mention it, just so other teachers know, and also for you, for if you look back and you can remember the things that you've already used. You'll also be talking about the homework that's been set. You need to be really clear and tell them exactly what you're asking the Breadie to do. Also, don't forget how important it is to talk about what they did really well and anything they struggled with. So that's a really quick overview, and we'll go into some of these points in a bit more detail. So I mentioned before about it being really important to be really clear about what was covered in your lesson. So what's really handy is at the beginning of your review, if you can just write, and it only has to be brief, a few notes about what areas you focus on. So you may have taught them page 25, but if I don't know all the content, which might be quite rare that you can remember what's on every page, it's handy to put a note. So I might put, we recapped nouns and then we looked at adjectives and looked at putting nouns and adjectives in sentences. It can be as simple and as brief as that. I've also mentioned about how important it is to talk about the page that you got up to. So for normal lessons, you have those boxes that you have to fill in, as I've mentioned. And don't forget for it's also really helpful to mention which page or slide number that you got up to in the taster. Especially if the Breadie books another taster, really quickly the team can look, see what was covered, and plan appropriately for that Breadie. So if you're writing a review for a Pickaroo lesson and you haven't completed it, what you need to do is state this in the review and be really clear. For example, if the Pickaroo PowerPoint was 45 slides long, it tells you at the bottom, and you only covered 21. Somewhere in your review, you just need to put 21 out of 45 pages covered. After your review is when you need to contact the team and let them know. So in your WeChat group, you need to find the More Breadie information group. You need to send the name of your Breadie, the time you taught them, and then just state, like I've just said, the pages that you covered out of how many should have been covered. This just really helps the team, and it's all about working together and helping each other out, and it's all about being professional as well. Now, we are really lucky that the time we now have to submit our reviews has been extended. So we have quite a few hours, so you have up until midnight on the day you teach to submit them, which is loads of time. So you need to make sure they're in on time. It helps people that are teaching the Breadie next to prepare, so it's really important. And if they are going to be late, let the team know. The team are really understanding, but you need to have a good reason really why you'd be submitting them late, because it is still part of your work to be doing that. And if you are late and you're not informing the team why, and it's something that's happening quite regularly, there will be a penalty for this. So they'll need to be sent to breadiereviews@iqbar.net. You need to be really clear exactly what was covered, where you got up to, your review, so include all the things you would normally include in a review. And you need to give a reason why it's late as well. So I mentioned before about homework. There is a box on your normal lessons, especially for CGE, where it says homework set, and that is where you will need to say exactly what you want your Breadie to do. Now, you might know if you just put noun homework, what that means. You need to think, if someone who doesn't know looks at it, is it clear what you want them to do? So for example, rather than just write noun homework, I might write identify 5 nouns in your room. Make it really clear so that anyone that looks at it knows exactly what's expected. And that will really help the next buddy when they come to the lesson, so they can prepare for this, plan for this, and they kind of know what to be expecting. All of these things are really important. Like I've said, it's about working together as a team. So if someone else teaches the same student, it's making their life easier, it's making it good for the student because everything remains professional and everyone knows exactly what to do, and it's easy to monitor them. And equally, it's important for you. If you want to look back and remind yourself, it's all there so you can find it really quickly. Tone is so important. Be positive. So just like when you're teaching and you have to use that smile, think of that smile when you're writing your reviews. If you had a bad lesson, and we do all have them, maybe don't write that review straight away. Give yourself time to calm down, have a cup of tea, and change that mindset a little bit before writing that review, because it needs to be positive. So even if the lesson was awful, the tone needs to be positive. So still make the points that need to be made, but just think about choosing your words really carefully. So here's a few suggestions. So rather than he didn't listen, maybe you could use he found it hard to concentrate today. It'd be great to see him focus more in our next lesson. Or maybe try to avoid things like he didn't even try to do his homework. And say something like, oh, it was a shame that I was not able to listen to his homework in this lesson. In our next lesson, I'd love for him to bring his homework and read it to me. Avoid comments like, she didn't even try. And maybe say something like, she seemed a little distracted in today's lesson. I know she can focus well, and I want to see her best focus in our next lesson. So you're still getting your point across, but you're just making sure that it's really positive. So though tone means being positive, it still means giving them areas to improve. I'm still talking about the things I want them to do and how to make it better, just putting a positive spin on it. So rather than saying he can't do this, unable to do that, rubbish at this, try to use more positive words that encourage them to want to do these things. So things like practice using, or learn more, or give them more opportunities for, to finish the sentences. So the tone is really important because we want to motivate them, and often they're working so hard, and we want them to be in a positive growth mindset, that they feel encouraged, they want to come to class, they want to do their homework, and they want to get better, and they want to learn. No one likes hearing, oh, you're bad at this, you're not very good at that, you can't do this. You want to be told things in a constructive way to help you learn and make you want to learn. So, areas to develop and areas to improve. It's good practice to try and list at least 2 or 3 areas for the Breadie to work on, and try not to list too many things, but also be specific. Saying something like, practice their pronunciation. It's not clear. You need to give for example, practice the pronunciation of the word elephant. Give specific words or areas they need to focus on. Your targets should also be SMART targets. Now, you might have heard of this before. I know Sarah's mentioned it, so if you were listening, this will be familiar. And here's a quick overview of what a SMART target is and what one might look like. Okay, so these are our SMART targets. So it's a bit of an acronym. The S stands for specific. You need to really make it clear what area or what subject or what area of grammar that you want them to focus on. It needs to be M, measurable. Give it a number, a value. Do you want them to do this twice? Do you want to find 3 examples of something? A, achievable. So it has to be something that they can do. That's not too high in the expectations. Which leads on really nicely to R, realistic. It has to be something that can be done in the time frame that we are asking. And again, which leads on to T, timely. If you're wanting to do this soon or in the next lesson, or perhaps it's something ongoing, you need to think how much time this is going to take. So if it's something about, I don't know, if you want them to learn as many different words for the word big, that's something that maybe could be done quite quickly. But if it's something that's going to take a bit longer, you need to mention that. And it's something that other buddies can look out for and keep mentioning in their reviews. So you can find the structure and the layout of your reviews on Padlet. Here's the link down here. And I'm now going to show you where it is and what a review should look like. So on the Padlet, you'll see there is a writing reviews seminar PowerPoint. So if you want some more help or just want to refer back to it, this is a really good place to look. On the Padlet, you'll also see that there is this post about how to structure your reviews. So if you can't quite remember or you just want to check that you're doing the right thing, have a look and there's an example template that you can use, or you can save this. That's what I tend to do. I've saved this template as a Word document and then I copy and paste it ready for each time I start a review. So this is an example of a really good review structure. It's really positive and they follow all the things we need. There's a brief overview, they talk about what went well and areas to improve, and they're specific about the things. They talk about the correct pronunciation of specific words, the responses they need to use, and then at the end what's really nice is just to put a really nice little note about your lesson. So, you know, it was really nice to meet you, or well done for this, or can't wait to see you again soon. If you want to have a look at this, you can find this on the Padlet, and it's the writing reviews PowerPoint that I pointed out to you earlier. So academic session reviews are similar to normal session reviews, but they just need that bit more detail in them. As you're provided with a course plan, so you've got a lot more to feed back on. You need to include their current level, the English level you've assessed them at, their target level, what they're aiming to achieve, which must be about 1 level above where they are. You're also going to comment, like in your normal review, on their strengths, their areas to develop, the progress they've made in the lesson, what you covered with them, and any suggestions for their future sessions as well. It's not just the sales team that accesses information, but it's also other buddies, so it's really important to be really detailed about these things. So if you're still not sure, or you just kind of want a little port of reference that you can have in mind, your new buddy welcome pack will kind of have all of this, or an overview of this, in there. So it's really good to look out for that and keep that somewhere safe so you can refer back to it at any time. As always, I really hope this has helped, and if you still have any questions or you're not sure, you can refer to your new buddy welcome pack. You can ask in the WeChat group, or you can go on the Facebook group and ask. There's always someone there that's willing to help. That's all from me. I'll see you soon. Bye.